town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
So, I've been asked a number of times, let me mount you. That's not what I've been asked. But I've been asked a number of times, you know, or told in my videos, I should say, you need to switch patterns, you need to switch patterns. We do switch patterns. We switch patterns every 2 weeks, okay? That's our system, I guess you could say. We switch patterns every 2 weeks. There's some lawns that other companies have mowed before us, and they mowed the same exact direction every week for a long time, and so that makes it insanely bumpy to go in a different direction. Now when we take a lawn over, we still attempt to. We try to at least go a different direction for a few weeks, even though it's bumpy as hell, just to try to break it up so it's not so bad. If it turns out that those marks are just ruts, so to speak, or just worn and beaten in there so bad, then we just continue mowing it the way that they did, and we don't change up the pattern. But there's really not a heck of a lot you can do about that, because, you know, it's not even so much that it's bumpy, it's the way that the deck is going to ride. On the walker, you can usually make it happen because it follows the contour of the ground. But like on the Toro Grandstand and on the Skag V-Ride, they don't follow the contour of the ground like a walker does, so you really don't have that option. You really can't still do it and make it look good, so to speak. So yeah, we do change up our pattern every 2 weeks, and so we'll mow for 2 weeks in one direction. The third week we switch up, so maybe every 3 weeks if you look at it that way, I don't know. But we do change up our pattern all the time, just because I show you guys, you know, maybe the same yard multiple times and it seems like I'm mowing it the same way. It's just because that's usually wherever it's easiest for me to set up the camera and the way the sun is so that you can see it the best. That's usually why you end up seeing the same directions multiple times. So I was mowing right along. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 done. I was on the 6th one, and it was that yard that I posted pictures of on Instagram, and I showed you guys in a video, I think it was last week. Yeah, last week. It was last Wednesday that Billy and I put in that new lawn. Well, we aerated it, overseeded it, and fertilized it for the customer, and I decided to let it go 1 more week. It needed cut then. It was probably 5-6 inches tall. Now it's like 7-8 inches tall at least, probably a little bit taller. Super green, looks beautiful. And I was gonna film it, and I started to cut it, and the skies opened up on me, and they said it was gonna start coming down about 11 o'clock. So yeah, so this morning I went up before I started mowing, and I've been having an issue with this. It's cruising right along, perfectly fine. Everything's good with it. When I get to the end of my pass and I turn and then I back up and I start to go again, every once in a while I'm feeling a grinding coming from down here and the machine doesn't move. This wheel doesn't, that one does. I'll let off it and then I'll ease back into it and it takes right off. No grinding, no nothing, it's perfectly fine. Now, last time that I did a hydro flush on this, I put a Napa filter on there and I ran the numbers and I'm pretty positive it was a 25 micron filter instead of a 10. I've explained this to you guys before, how you got to make sure it's right because it controls the flow of the fluid. So I tried to explain this to you guys before, and I'm pretty sure I got it right, but I'm not positive. I used Mobile One 2050 for the fluid, which I use in every machine, always have. It's what most manuals call for, but for some reason it's having an issue. Now I think that wheel motor might be going bad over there, but I'm not positive. Another thing that will cause that is if the filter is the wrong filter, if the fluid is the wrong filter or wrong fluid, and the belt underneath that controls those hydro pumps, if that belt is slipping or stretched out. So I went to the Toro dealer this morning. I got the actual OEM Toro filter for it. I got a new belt, and I got 3 quarts of Toro's Hyper Oil 500, which is what they recommend you run in there. So I'm going to flush this hydro system out, and I'm going to put a new filter on, the OEM filter. I'm going to put the new fluid in, and I'm going to change that belt, and we're going to see what it does. If everything's fine and we're good to go, no harm, no foul. You know, this cost me like 80 bucks at the dealer for all this stuff. So no harm, no foul. Everything will be good to go. Down the road we go. If it doesn't fix the issue, then I'll know that there's a real good chance that that wheel motor is going, and it's about 600 bucks to buy that bad boy. So we'll see what happens. On a quick note with that, people have been commenting on my videos saying, junk that thing, get rid of that thing, it's beat, this and that. Listen, it has a lot of hours on it and I know it, but those comments are coming from people I didn't recognize the name. I'm guessing they haven't been following along. Go back to last winter to where I bought this thing, the condition it was in, and everything I did to it. This machine is almost everything brand new on it, and I absolutely love this machine. So to me, even if I had to put a $600 wheel motor in it, I would do it. It's worth it. So go back and look at all that before you decide my fate or the fate of this machine for me. Okay, change of plans. I got the fluid flushed out of this thing, the new filter on it. I looked underneath to do the belt, and this is what I found. This is the idler pulley assembly. This is a bushing that goes in there. It flops. It's egg-shelled. This whole pulley assembly was flopping in there. And this end here, the spring literally wore a groove in there. And this is the end that connects to the mower underneath, and it wore a groove in there too, and wore that away. These 2 bushings are also shot. So I looked on Toro's website, and it gives me, it's called the Hydro Pump Idler Assembly, but there's no part number. So I called the Toro dealer where I got that stuff this morning, and he said that's because they make you order it piece by piece, and you can't order just the whole assembly. So he went through piece by piece, found them all, and he put it in his order for today, so I should have it soon. But on a good note, the skies have cleared and the sun is out, and I'm gonna go see how much more mowing I can get done. So I showed me bagging this lawn a couple weeks ago. Here's the front. I know it doesn't look like there's much there on camera. There's a crap ton of leaves all over. It's windy as hell. Rain has been chasing me all day. That whole thing there is the backyard. There's not too many leaves down there, but a decent amount. Looks like they're all blowing toward the woods. But down there I just mulch them up, and that's that. And I keep it cut short, and the wind keeps blowing that way and blows. If you keep it short, when the leaves hit the grass, they usually keep on going, so they all end up going toward the woods. That's why you can't tell, but there's a lot more over here than over there. But the front we're going to bag up. It's coming down now. Well, it really started coming down when I was bagging the front of that one, and then it stopped. It's still cloudy, still super windy, but it stopped. So I was like, ah, screw it. I'll go down around the corner, because I gotta close up the trailer and drive down around the block, come around the corner to get to this backyard, the backyard I just showed you, because there's no other way to get to it. You can't get to it from up top there. But so I come down here, and it looked like it was gonna start raining again. I'm like, ah, screw it, I'm gonna do it anyway, and we'll see what happens. There's a lot of big trees back here, so I figured, you know, the rain or the trees will cover me for most of it anyway. Well, they didn't. They did to a degree. They did a little bit, but I definitely got wet, so enough's enough. I'm done. It's 2:30. There's only like, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 left to finish off today. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of them are right together. So, and none of those are big. One of them's pretty good size, but the rest of them aren't that big. So, no big deal. Add it to tomorrow's list, and tomorrow's Thursday, which means I have Billy. So we'll add it to tomorrow's list, and Billy and I will knock that out, plus Thursday's list, no problem. If it doesn't rain tomorrow, I think they're calling for rain tomorrow and Friday as well, so I guess we will see. But it's 2:34 right now. Billy will be home from school at 3:15, so it's starting to rain real hard now, and it's getting really windy. It has been really windy, so we'll just call it quits for today, and we'll call it quits for today, and just go to the gym. My wife just texted me, you better not be on that hill in this rain. Should I tell her I just got done mowing it? That'll freak her out. She hates that I mow that hill. She's seen that hill. I've explained to you guys in videos before about that hill and how the camera doesn't do it justice and how massively steep it is. She does not like the fact that I mow that hill with that standard. What are you gonna do, right? So she's not out here push mowing it for me, so guess what? So of course I'll text her back and tell her, of course I'm not, honey. I wouldn't do that. And she'll say, yeah, right. That's it for today. We're out of here.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave a thumbs up, and comment if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. We'll see you in the next one.